Everyone, and welcome into What's Trending here at WTVY. I'm morning anchor Justin McNelley, here to take a look at our website, WTVY.com, and kind of just show you some of the big trending stories we've been working on here at News 4, plus some of the national stories that may be of some attention to you guys and everything at home. Hope you are having a great Tuesday right now as you tune in. Let's talk about the big story of the day for the sports world. If you stayed up last night, well, you didn't watch much of a game between the Georgia Bulldogs and the TCU Horned Frogs. The Bulldogs just absolutely dismantling TCU from start to finish in that game, winning by a final score of 65-7. Yes, you heard that correctly. Georgia winning 65-7 over TCU. Back-to-back college football national championships for Kirby Smart and the Bulldogs. The first team to do that since Alabama went back-to-back in 2011 and 2012. The Dogs are the first team to do it in the new playoff format. So congratulations to the Bulldogs and all Georgia fans out there. A successful 15-0 season capped off with a huge rout over TCU. Now that begs the question that a lot of people have been talking about online is, should Alabama have been one of those four teams in the playoffs? Because that was a lot of topic of controversy heading into that selection Sunday. Ultimately, Bama being left out at number 5. They routed Kansas State, who beat TCU in the Big 12 championship game in early December. So we're just going to have a lot of questions when it comes to that of if Bama should or should not have been in. They ultimately were not. Now we have Georgia winning back-to-back national championships. I honestly think Georgia would have ran away with it anyways. I think Bama and Georgia would have been a good competitive game. We saw Ohio State and Georgia have a nice instant classic as well in the semifinals. But Georgia, I think, was a team of destiny this year, getting the chance to win back-to-back. And they do so. They'll look for a three-peat next year as Bama, Auburn, Troy, and other teams from around the country will look to dethrone the Bulldogs in 2023. Let's take a look over at our website now. This is WTVY.com. We always hit some sports talk in here when I can. But let's take a look at our website over here and talk about some of the big trending stories over here on our website. One, our Ken Curtis worked on. Representative Paul Lee has emerged as one of the most influential members of Alabama's House after the 2022 elections. He wants a close look at health care. He's one of two lawmakers remaining from the 2010 takeover that gave Republicans control of the House for the first time. Representative Terry Collins is the other. Lee was reappointed last month by new elected House Speaker Nathaniel Ledbetter to chair the powerful Health Committee. A former Houston County Healthcare Authority member, Lee believes medical care is perhaps the most important issue facing Alabamians, saying, quote, "We've lost about a dozen rural hospitals in the state in the past 4 or 5 years." That's what Lee told News 4 on Monday. Southeast Health, the Dothan-based medical network, claims it lost $10 million in the last fiscal year. Now, Lee becomes the only Wiregrass lawmaker to chair a powerful House committee after Ledbetter declined to reappoint Representative Steve Klaus to lead the House Ways and Means Committee. Lee said that he is unsure of the role lawmakers can play in solving the health care issue because most of the problems are out of their control, but he plans to work with the Health Committee to find possible options and at least create a better understanding of challenges that face the industry. That is our top story right now over on our website. You can watch the full interview with Representative Paul Lee and Ken Curtis' story on that over on the homepage. Breaking news out of last night from Dale County. A multi-vehicle crash occurred approximately at 3:30 p.m. on Monday, claiming the life of a Daleville woman. Grace Nicole Rivera was fatally injured when the 2006 Suzuki GSX-R 1000 motorcycle, in which she was a passenger, struck the rear of a Nissan Altima. Now, Rivera and the operator of the Suzuki of Ozark were both ejected from the motorcycle. Rivera was struck by a Chevy Tahoe as well. She was pronounced dead at the scene. Collins was transported to an area hospital for treatment. Now, the crash occurred on Alabama 27 at the intersection of Dale County 34, approximately 2 miles south of Ozark in Dale County. Now, nothing further is available right now as troopers continue to investigate this crash. Terrible news to wake up to this morning. Thoughts go out to that young lady's family for this tragic event. Once again, that was breaking news out of last night that we had for you this morning on News 4 this morning. Another story here on our homepage: Alabama parents can be held liable for child's use of guns. This is out of Birmingham from our sister station WBRC. Jefferson County District Attorney Danny Carr says it is a case-by-case basis, but in some, parents can be held liable in a court for their child's actions. Carr said it all starts with how the child got the gun. Carr said parents can be legally responsible if your child gets a hold of their gun and commits a crime. He said there is not a strict liability portion of Alabama law for parents, but depends negligence. He said the law contemplates circumstances and the age of the child. Once again, full details on that story over on the homepage of our website, WTVY.com. Mental health crisis continues and Dothan Clinic sees increase in patients. Our own Kinsley Centers working on this story yesterday afternoon. The mental health crisis continues as the Wiregrass is not excluded. According to a study by JAMA, depression symptoms in adults has increased more than threefold since the onset of the pandemic. Over the last year, Southern Clinic in Dothan saw an increase in the number of patients they were caring for who sought assistance with mental illness. Now, one of the doctors here said the increase had to do with the pandemic, but it also has to do with the presence of a huge mental health push as more people are encouraged to break the stigma and have that conversation. Super important there. If you are dealing with any mental health problems, if you are suffering from some forms of depression, have those conversations with people. Talk to a professional. Southern Clinic, just one of the many places here where you can meet and talk with people about that. Yes, they are seeing an influx in people doing that. So if you are dealing with some of those issues, please seek professional help. Some of our top headlines over on our website as well. Some stories we broke earlier in the week. 2 arrested on Coffee County child abuse charges. The 2 are reported. I'm sorry, the 2 people in Coffee County. A report of child abuse was filed by the Coffee County DHR. The report detailed a 4-month-old child had suffered serious physical injury that resulted in respiratory arrest. Now, the investigation led to warrants of aggravated child abuse being issued against these 2 individuals, Brittany Taylor and Nate Smith, both of Ayrton. They were arrested on Monday morning, and the warrants were placed in the Coffee County Jail without bond. Going back over to our homepage, we mentioned that Dale County Road wreck that happened yesterday that we had details on. It is back open after that crash happening yesterday. Wallace Community College was awarded grants for over $600,000 for its training programs. Our own Sydney Brooks working on that story. Wallace Community College in Dothan was awarded money by the Alabama Community College Systems grants totaling over $600,000 to benefit criminal justice, public safety, and small unmanned aircraft system training. The total $373,400 was awarded to criminal justice and all those places, including and those equipment needs. The grant will allow Wallace to address an urgent need in Region 6 to create a pipeline of better trained law and public safety individuals who can enforce laws, prevent crime, deliver emergency response, and provide support system for communities. Great job out there by Wallace. Getting this money will only benefit the college in the long run. It'll be a great way and getting people ready for the next level, giving them the equipment and all that they need to better educate people in those career paths. And a big story happening in terms of road closures and traffic is there's a lot of construction on the Ross Clark Circle. If you've been paying attention to that near the McDonald's intersection, here's kind of what what it looks like right here. The McDonald's driveway is closed, or was closed on Monday. The southbound turn lane was also closed on Monday. They're doing a lot of road work over in this area. Well, the eastern leg of that intersection will be closed Monday as part of the construction project that was yesterday. The southbound turn lane, as I mentioned, will be as well. Now, I don't see an exact day of when this will end. I know I was over there this morning, and they were still doing some construction over there on the Ross Clark Circle near this area. You got McDonald's, the shops at the Circle, Oishi Sushi is right here as well. So just be careful. Be vigilant, pay attention over in those areas for crews that may still be out there working and things like that. Still getting some resurfacing and all that done over here on the Ross Clark Circle, which is needed with heavy traffic flow and things like that. So just make sure we're staying vigilant for people out there doing road work at this time. So that's to kind of look at what some things we're working on here at News 4. We'll have a lot more stories coming your way tonight at 5, 6, and 10. Our next newscast is going to be live at lunch. We'll have our Pet of the Week segment like we do every single Tuesday. We'll be joined by Melissa Gideon from the Dothan Animal Shelter, where we have a new pet here who will be up for adoption, as well as your latest headlines in news. And Emily Acton will be joining us for a look at weather over at Live at Lunch. Hope you guys can join us then. And until then, have a great afternoon.